Hello! I haven't quite figured out how to do my opening for these videos yet since I'm still new at doing this and new to AuthorTube. But today I'm going to do the AuthorTube newbie tag, and let's just get right into it. The first question is, how did you find out about AuthorTube? And like a lot of you, I was watching it before I knew I was, just looking for advice on books, writing advice, and stuff like that. I actually thought it was BookTube until I ran across an AuthorTube tag, and I realized that BookTube and AuthorTube are different things. So yeah, that's how I found AuthorTube. Second question is, what genres do you write in? And I write, right now I'm explicitly writing in fantasy. I think part of the reason for that is, as a little girl growing up, I was obsessed with everything fantasy. All the books I read for fun were fantasy. My bedroom was completely fantasy themed. I had castle wallpaper, and I had like toy castles and stuff, and I would always just make up stories and play it out with my toys. Question 3, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category? I prefer writing third person limited. I should say third person semi-limited, and then I write YA, just because I'm in my 20s, it's an easy kind of thing to write about the age that I am. Question 4, are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? I am 100% a plantser. I do both. Actually, when I started writing my book, it didn't occur to me to plot it, which I know that sounds awful, but I was like 18 at the time, and I just started writing a story that I could see in my head, and then later on, as I've worked on it, I started plotting and planning, and I've actually outlined 2 more books. And one thing I would do though is I would make a list of specific things I knew I wanted to happen in the book, and then from there it was just a point of getting characters from point A to point B. Question 5, are you published, self-published, or yet to be published? I'm yet to be published with my novels. I have had 1 poem published when I was in my preteens. I entered a poem I had in a contest, and it was published in a random magazine called Teenzine. Other than that, no, I'm not published yet as an author of novels, so that's where I want to get. Question 6, what is your dream publishing house or literary agent? I don't have a specific one that I want to get into, because I know that that's a process and there's a lot of rejection, so I try not to set my heart on things that I know I probably can't have, because I don't like to let myself down. I'd rather let myself be surprised. When I get to the point of sending out my manuscript to publishers, I'll just probably go through the books I have and what publishers they were done by, and work from there. And if I get accepted, then awesome, and if I get rejected, whatever, I'll just try someone else. Question 7 is, what AuthorTube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? Probably a lot of tags like this is what I want to do, and then just more talking about my book, about my experience. I don't know if I'll quite delve into the advice part right away, but I know I'll get there eventually. Question 8 is, when did you start writing? Like I mentioned earlier, I started working on my book when I was 18. Before that, I was mostly into poetry. And I'm 24 now, so I've been working on this book for like 6 years. Granted, I've been going to college for a lot of that time, and I also went on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during that time, and I didn't work on the book while I was on my mission. Question 9 is, what authors have inspired your writing the most? As cheesy as it sounds, I mean, it's the books that I've read that I've loved. So obviously J.K. Rowling plays a huge part in that, and I can't even remember how many times I've read through the Chronicles of Narnia. When I was little, my parents would read the Chronicles of Narnia to us all the time, and when we finished, we'd just start over with that. Another big author that has really inspired me is Brandon Mull. I would hold up book 1, but I lent it to my brother-in-law right now, so I don't have book 1 with me, and I like the book 4 cover the most out of the rest of them. So Brandon Mull, he went to BYU, and I'm at the sister school, BYU, Idaho, and just seeing his success, and I've met him at a few author signings, really helps me see that, like, anybody could become an author, and so that's inspired me a lot. And then just one other random one is Patrick Carman with his The Land of Elyon series. I read these when I was in like the end of elementary school, beginning of junior high, and I loved them, and I just thought it was cool how just such a simple story could be written. I also just love the format of this book. I don't know if you can see, it's got really textured pages and cool artwork. So those are the ones that have inspired me: J.K. Rowling, C.S. Lewis, Brandon Mull, and Patrick Carman. Question 10. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you find the time? So you might have guessed from the fact that it's taken me 6 years to write this that I kind of write when I can find the time. However, I have made it a goal this year to do something that progresses my book every day. But I do make sure to make time for that, even if I can't find it. I will make sure that I will stay up just a little bit longer than I was planning, and maybe I'll edit a couple paragraphs. And that's just one thing that helps it progress, and it's not a lot of time that takes, but I refuse to only find time. I insist on making time for my book. 11 is, do you type on your computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? So I mainly type on my computer, but when I outline, I do it in my notebook, because I have a very specific way of outlining, which I hope to share in a future video. And I don't think that that's a way that could be done on the computer, because it involves a lot of like drawing and like, oh, this here, arrows, sort of thing. The last question, number 12, is what are you most looking forward to now that you're a part of AuthorTube? I'm most looking forward to increasing the amount of people that are there to help support me through my writing journey, and also to gain exposure for my work in progress, so that when it does get published, there can be people who can fall in love with it as much as I have. So yeah, that's my AuthorTube newbie tag, and you can tag yourself in this video. I wasn't tagged, I just decided to do it. So yeah, have a good day. Bye.